Alright guys, Forsaken just ran into more problems, with a popular collab skin losing its voice lines, a chat feature that needs to be added, and there's a lot happening right now. Let's get into it!
You're gonna pay for that.
There is a game called Die of Death, an asymmetrical horror game like Forsaken. In this game, there is a popular skin called Devesto. This skin has some very iconic voice lines that everyone loves to hear whenever Devesto performs certain interactions. Some of the voice lines come from Postal and Postal 2, which are owned by Running with Scissors, a professional game studio. Recently, Running with Scissors asked for the removal of the voice lines from Devesto. The situation originally started when someone mentioned Postal Simulator on Roblox, and a moderator in their Discord server became upset, saying that Saucefy had created a trash-looking character with copied voice lines and was annoyed about people praising Devesto. Saucefy then received backlash from parts of the Postal community over the use of the voice lines. Running with Scissors responded to a post mentioning that they were being aggressive about the voice lines being used. They expressed frustration about Saucefy allegedly using their work without credit and felt that the original Postal character was being overshadowed by Devesto, which they doubled down on publicly. Legally, Running with Scissors had every right to request the removal of the voice lines, since it falls under copyright infringement. However, many people felt that the situation was handled in an aggressive and unprofessional way, especially considering that Saucefy is a... They may not have known that at the time, but the way it was communicated still caused backlash online. Eventually, Running with Scissors got in contact with Saucefy directly. Saucefy immediately removed the voice lines from the game to avoid the risk of the entire game being taken down. There were also discussions about monetization, since Devesto cannot be directly purchased with real money and is instead unlocked through in-game points, with the game itself being monetized through donations. Devesto is also a skin in Forsaken. Since Running with Scissors stated they are not collaborating with any other Roblox games, Forsaken removed Devesto's voice lines as well to avoid potential copyright issues. Isaac confirmed that the voice lines will be replaced. Overall, this entire situation could have likely been resolved much sooner if Running with Scissors had contacted Saucefy privately from the start, rather than the issue escalating publicly. So, with there being many modded Forsaken games on Roblox, there is one particular game called Slopsaken. This game has a bunch of unreleased killers and survivors that you can choose from. In this game, if you are playing as a survivor, you can use a quick chat feature to send % messages in the chat so people know what to do. If you need heals or want to say follow me, you can do that instantly. This basically improves communication for console and mobile players, so you don't have to spend time typing. It's probably one of the best features that could be added to Forsaken, as it helps players communicate more easily and work as a team. Some people even say it's better than emotes. While emotes are fun and can be used to annoy the killer, this feature encourages actual interaction between survivors. As a result, toxic emoting toward killers would become less of a factor because players would communicate more effectively. However, with Roblox's chat restrictions, it might not work as well unless Forsaken somehow manages to bypass certain limitations. They probably won't though, since they're in the spotlight as one of the top Roblox games and wouldn't want to risk breaking any rules. Many people want to see this feature added to the game and think it would be a huge improvement. The quick chat system also wouldn't have to be limited to support characters. Some have suggested that certain dialogue lines could fit noobs specifically, but if every survivor had unique dialogue, that would be really cool. It would add more variety, similar to hero-based games like Overwatch, where characters have unique interactions based on their lore. Should Forsaken add this feature in-game? So, over the last year, Forsaken has had a change in art direction, moving away from the heavy horror theme and then slowly bringing it back. There was a big post about the supposed loss of passion, mainly because of the switch from the old drawn artwork to using Robloxian-style game models in the new banners and update art. A lot of people didn't really understand why they changed from drawings to 3D renders. Some dislike how the old banners are being replaced with new ones that feel like they have way too much going on, while others actually prefer the cleaner 3D look. Then there are people saying it's illegal to ask for 3D renders for a game thumbnail, which is just complaining for the sake of it. At the end of the day, you either prefer a detailed hand-drawn banner or the model-based one that some people call soulless. However, many still point out that the older art was perfect, and since the icon is still being done by Darren, it's not impossible for that style to return in the future. The argument that there's no passion anymore feels a bit over the top. There are still people working on the game passionately, so saying that just comes off as rude and discouraging. Saucefy has decided to remove all future Forsaken content from DOD, including the upcoming Cool Carnival map in DOD and even the Nulliful skin, with the Glass Houses map have been scrapped and are no longer coming in their new update. However, the current DOD content already in Forsaken, such as Devesto, Artful, Pursuer, and Loveshot Chance skins, will remain in the game. Skins that Alexis Funny worked on, like Mekwit and even the Harkin skin, will not be coming anytime soon unless circumstances with Forsaken improve. It seems that with the 1X rework update, several VIP yourself skins were removed from the game. Previously, purchasing the VIP Game Pass granted players access to these skins, but they are no longer available. Isaac has since mentioned that there was a light skin purge, which resulted in some of these VIP skins being removed. However, he also confirmed that they are expected to return in a later update. Rather than leaving the Game Pass empty or reducing its value, the team has stated that new dev-related content will be added to compensate for what was removed. At the moment, we do not know exactly what this replacement content will include. It could potentially feature new dev killers or additional dev-exclusive skins. There is even a possibility that some of these skins, such as something similar to the Abyss 1X skin, could eventually be usable in public matches. For now, though, players will have to wait for further clarification in a future update. So there was this collab skin that was released a while ago that was extremely hard to get, the Narrator Noli skin. This skin was from TDS, where you had to play the narrator event and beat hard mode, which even players who have been playing the game for ages were still struggling to complete. Isaac has mentioned that the skin will become unobtainable on the 9th, but will later return permanently through a new method, most likely by earning a badge in TDS. Many people are frustrated, since the skin was originally supposed to be limited, and making it available again feels like it removes the effort and exclusivity for those who earned it during the event. Some also say it was the worst way to do a collab, since players were thrown straight into the final boss instead of being eased in, unlike how Battle Bricks handled theirs. Others feel that if there was always going to be a permanent method, the skin should have launched with an easier badge instead. People are now expecting it to return around April, June, possibly tied to story mode, meaning you may have to clear multiple maps before even attempting to unlock it. Even an event helper said it is going to be a nightmare, possibly taking longer than getting the Martyr 1X skin. So there are still a lot of problems Forsaken needs to fix if it wants to stay on top. Could these become bigger problems later on? Subscribe and hit the bell for more Forsaken events.